There we go. I had to get the camera all aligned. You know, my perfectionism is pretty perfect right now, aligned and straight. But hello, hi again, welcome back to the channel. My name is Joseph, and I am your reader for the book, A Course in Miracles. And I've been reading this book, I've been reading every section of this book as often as I am allowed to, as often as my time allows me to. And today I'm back from a long little hiatus of it, still with chapter 8, and the next section for it is section 6, the treasure of God. And before I begin with that though, before I begin reading that section though, I had a moment of reflection in the thumbnail for this video. That YouTube has thumbnails for this video, and I don't paint them myself. I don't draw them up myself and colorize them myself. I use a ChatGPT. I use a image generator tool, and I just put in a prompt. I just ask for a prompt, and the prompt generates the image. But I had a moment of reflection from just looking at that image, right? And to me, it was the sun of the sun. Because in the background, you see a gentleman, a figure, heading towards a treasure. And in that treasure box is a glowing orb, golden glowing orb. But in the background of that image, you'll see the sun. And as soon as I saw it, as soon as the image was generated, that is what came to mind. Just immediately, the son of the sun. And I don't know where it came from, intuition, spirit, soul, I am, but it was there. That was the most immediate that I've ever seen reflection of seeing an image and recognizing a self, recognizing the title for it, recognizing that as that coming up to me, the son of the sun. So I wanted to share that with you, having that recognition, and maybe it recognizes, maybe it resonates with you. Maybe you recognize something in it yourself, okay? Every time I do one of these sections, it's the right time, it's the right place, the right moment, and the right mind and heart will receive it. That I believe, that I know actually. Beyond belief, that I know. Okay. Again, welcome back to the channel. And if you have not already seen the previous videos, I invite you to check out the playlist at the end of this video, where I have a playlist of all the videos I've done so far. I also invite you to like this video. I also invite you to comment and let me know where you're reading it from, listening to this from, and what you thought about this section, anything, okay? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. I love to respond to you, and I do always respond. So without further ado, let's get into the journey back, chapter 8, section 6, the treasure of God. We are the joint will of the sonship, whose wholeness is for all. We begin the journey back by setting out together and gather in our brothers as we continue together. Every gain in our strength is offered for all, so they too can lay aside their weakness and add their strength to us. God's welcome awaits for us all. One more time. God's welcome waits for us all, and he will welcome us as I am welcoming you. Forget not the kingdom of God for anything the world has to offer. That reminds me of the prodigal son who went out and pillaged or used all of his assets and money and gold and everything, and came back to God, and God welcomed him with open arms, with loving arms, as if he had never left. Welcomed him back as he was, no matter what. So it says God's welcome waits for us all. But once you choose to come back to God, even I can't say come back to God, because in actuality, in fact, you never left. You just imagined and believed and thought yourself separate. When the truth of the matter is, you're never separated. You cannot be separated from God. Moving on. The world can add nothing to the power and the glory of God for his holy sons, but it can blind the sons of God, the sons of the Father, if they behold it. As I just said, you thought you were separate. And if you behold it, okay, you cannot behold the world and know God. Only one is true. I am come to tell you that the choice of which is true is not yours to make. If it were, you would have destroyed yourself. Yet God did not will the destruction of his creations, having created them for eternity. His will has saved you, not from yourself, but from the illusions of yourself. He has saved you for yourself. Let us glorify him whom the world denies, for over his kingdom the world has no power. No one created by God can find joy in anything except the eternal. Not because he is deprived of anything else, but because nothing else is worthy of him. What God and his sons create is eternal, and in this, and this only, is their joy. Listen to the story of the prodigal son. I did not know that would be paragraph 4 when I read section 1, paragraph 1 of this section. Listen to the story again of the prodigal son and learn what God's treasure is and yours. Here it is. This son of a loving father left his home and thought he had squandered everything for nothing of any value, although he had not understood its worthlessness at the time. He was ashamed to return to his father, but because he thought he had hurt him. Yet when he came home, the father welcomed him with joy, because the son himself was his father's treasure. He wanted nothing else. Exactly. You are welcomed back as you are. No matter how far you think you've gone and strayed from God, you are always welcome back as you are. Wow. That first section, that first paragraph, like I said, resonated with the prodigal son. And then paragraph 4 down the line here speaks to the story of the prodigal son. Carrying on this message. God wants only his son because his son is his only treasure. You want your creations as he wants his. Your creations are your gift to the Holy Trinity, created in gratitude for your creation. They do not leave you any more than you left your Creator, but they extend your creation as God extended himself to you. Can the creations of God himself take joy in what is not real? And what is real except the creations of God and those that are created like his? Your creations love you as you love your Father for the gift of creation. There is no other gift that is eternal, and therefore there is no other gift that is true. How then can you accept anything else or give anything else and expect joy in return? And what else but joy would you want? You made neither yourself nor your functions. You made only the decision to be unworthy of both. Yet you cannot make yourself unworthy because you are the treasure of God, and what he values is valuable. You are valuable. No matter what you may think about yourself, you are valuable. God values you as you are. No matter what mindset you have right now about yourself, how worthlessness you believe you may be, but you're not. You're valuable to God. And I hope you will remember that and accept that as your fact, as your truth. But first, not even first, allow yourself to love yourself as God loves you. I'm speaking from experience because that's where I started. I started to actually value myself, actually love myself. It took some time, took a lot of time, and the outcome was definitely worth it. Because I'm reminded of a video that I saw of a young man, actually a gentleman. He said that once you begin to love yourself, once you actually do love yourself, you can't help but love everyone else. And for me, that is so true. It is so true. No matter who you are, what you are, where you came from, what background you are, religion, color, creed, sex, you are loved by me. And I don't want nothing in return. I'm not asking for anything in return. No recognition, no accolades, no treasures, no trophies. It's just the way I am because I sowed the seed of myself. I sowed the seed in myself of self-love, self-care. Like I said, it took a long time. It wasn't like overnight. It wasn't over a month. It wasn't over a year. It took some retraining and retrying and going at it again and again and again. And I finally did understand and value myself and love myself, and I'm just pouring this back out to you. Anybody that I meet, no matter who you are. Where were we? Yes, the 6th paragraph. Your function is to add to God's treasure by creating yours. His will to you is His will for you. He would not withhold creation from you because His joy is in it. You cannot find joy except as God does. His joy lay in creating you. He extends His fatherhood to you so that you can extend yourself as He did. So that you can extend yourself as He did. Exactly what I just said. When you love yourself, you extend that love to the other parts of you, to other people, to the things, right? So as it says here, His fatherhood to you, so that He extends His fatherhood to you, so that you can extend yourself as He did. And by loving everyone, loving yourself, you extend that God, you extend that part of God to others as you are extending it inside yourself too. Carrying on once again. No one who does not accept His function can understand what it is, and no one can accept this function unless he knows what he is. Creation is the will of God. His will created you to create. So go out there and create, creator. Go out there and create, creator. Carrying on, His will created you to create. Your will was not created separate from His. And so you must will as He wills. That means you must create. You must. And be fulfilling in what you create too. Do what you love to do. And you won't be feeling like it's a task, it's a job, it's work, it's hard, it's labor. If you do what you love to do, you are creating. And when you share it with someone, you share with anyone, you're getting more fulfilling, in my opinion at least. Carrying on. An unwilling will, that's in quotations, an unwilling will does not mean anything, being a contradiction in terms that actually means nothing. When you think you are unwilling to will with God, you're not thinking. God's will is thought. It cannot be contradicted by thought. God does not contradict Himself, and His sons who are like Him, you are, cannot contradict themselves or Him. Yet their thought is so powerful that they can even imprison the mind of God's Son, if they so choose. This choice does make the Son's function unknown to Him, but never to His Creator. And because it is not known to His Creator, it is forever knowable to Him. That's a big to digest right there. So let me read that one more time. I'm going back to the beginning. Well, the last sentence on the last page here. Yet their thought is so powerful, thoughts are things, their thought is so powerful that they can even imprison the mind of God's Son. That's your own mind. You imprison your own mind with your thinking, right? If they so choose, and we are all choosers of our lives. This choice does make the Son's functions unknown to Him, but never to His Creator. Unknown to Him, meaning you don't know how powerful your thoughts is, but you continue to pour out thoughts on things, pour out thoughts that create things, that actually do create things. So you don't know your own function, but God, your Creator, knows. And because it is not unknown to his creator, God, it is forever knowable to him. Meaning, if God knows it, you are also able to know it. But we have imprisoned our mind. I keep pointing up there, but our mind is more expensive than that, than this. And what this paragraph says is we use our own minds in error. We created our own prisons, but we also can free ourselves. We can be the key, be the lock, be the bars. We can free ourselves from the prison that we created for ourselves. And know as God knows also. Carrying on once again. There is no question but one should ever ask of yourself, do I want to know my Father's will for me? Ask yourself that. He will not hide it. He has revealed it to me because I asked it of him. And learn of what he already given. He had already given. Our function is to work together because apart from each other, we cannot function at all. Our function is to work together because apart from each other, we cannot function at all. And on Saturday morning, I was at a place called Meaningful Conversations. I'll pause one more time. I was at a place called Meaningful Conversations, and one of the subjects that came up was how can we come together, work together, and create a better world, of course, because that's one of mankind's biggest questions. How can we create a better world? And it literally says it in here. Our function is to work together because apart from each other, we cannot function at all. And right now, we're functioning like ping pong balls that are not going in any kind of orderly direction. We're just bouncing all over the place against each other, not working with each other, not creating a better planet, a better life for each other, better life for ourselves. We're just bouncing all over the world, bouncing all over the place separately, doing our own thing. We're not working together. That wasn't what we talked about at the place I told you about, meaningful conversations. But when I read that sentence, that's what brought to my mind. How can we work together to create a better world? I read that sentence again. Our function is to work together because apart from each other, we cannot function at all. The whole power of God's Son lies in us all, but not in any of us alone. God would not have us be alone because he does not will to be alone. That's why he created his Son and gave him the power to create with him. Our creations are as holy as we are, and we are the sons of God himself, as holy as he is. Through our creations, we extend our love and thus increase the joy of the Holy Trinity. You do not understand this because you, who are God's own treasure, do not regard yourself as valuable. Given this belief, you cannot understand anything. I share with God's knowledge. I share with God the knowledge of the value he puts upon you. My devotion to you is of him, being born of my knowledge of myself and him. We cannot be separated. Whom God has joined cannot be separated, and God has joined all his sons with himself. Can you be separated from your life? Hold on one moment. That line used in marriages at the altar, whom God has joined together cannot be separated. That's the black and white version, paperwork, clerical, city political paperwork of joining man and woman. But the actual value of us joining in reality, joining mind, body, spirit, joining mentally, for one especially, cannot be separated. We cannot be separated. Whom God has joined together cannot be separated. And God has joined all his sons with himself. Can you be separated from your life and your being? The journey to God is merely the reawakening of the knowledge of where you are always and what you are forever. It is a journey without distance to a goal that has never changed. Truth can only be experienced. It cannot be described, and it cannot be explained. Truth can only be experienced. It cannot be described or explained. You must experience it. And then when you do experience it, like many people have, you experience it, it's hard to explain. It's hard to describe. It really is. It really, really is. I can make you aware of the conditions of truth, but the experience is of God. Together we can meet its conditions, but truth will dawn upon you of itself. What God has willed for you is yours. He has given his will to his treasure, whose treasure it is. Your heart lies where your treasure is, as his does. Your heart lies where your treasure is, as his does. You, who are beloved of God, are wholly blessed. Learn this of me, and free the holy will of all those who are as blessed as you are. And that concludes chapter 8, section 6, the treasures of God. Wow. It felt good to really read that section, really did. And be back with another section of this reading after some weeks of a hiatus of not being able to, not having the right time, not having the right place, but it all has its purpose. It all has its purpose, and I believe that when I come back to read another section, it's the right time, it's the right place, it's under the right conditions, and I'm in the right section too to read it, because I get something out of it, and I hope that you get something out of this message also. I want to remind you that this book is A Course in Miracles. It is a required course. The only thing that is not required of it is the length of time you take to complete it. Thank you for reading with me today, and I will see you again at the next one.